Hi Heidi, thanks for having me on your blog today while I do my blog tour for Founder. A couple years ago, my mother was doing her genealogy work when she discovered that her great aunt, Marion, was still living. And she didn't know very much about her father's side of the family, and so this was really exciting to her to find a relative, not only a relative, but someone who was alive and who could perhaps tell her a little bit more about her father and whatnot. And so Marion was in her late 90s, and when she looked her up, and it turned out that she only lived about an hour away from where my mom was living, and she went to go visit her, and Marion turned out to be a very kind of grumpy old woman and wasn't really receptive to any of my mother's questions. And about a week after my mother found her, she died. Marion died, and so what happened was we were actually left with all of her things. Marion didn't have any other family, and so when we went to go to her home, Marion's home, it turned out she was a hoarder, and it was quite the adventure cleaning all of that out. But while we were digging through her things and throwing a lot of it away, we discovered some newspaper articles. Well, about a year ago, I woke up from an incredibly vivid dream, and in my dream, Marta, who is one of my main characters, was asking for help. And she was kind of running through the jungle, and I woke up from that, and I just immediately grabbed the sketch pad by my bed and started scribbling down my thoughts. And what had happened was I had had a dream about these newspaper articles that we found at Marion's home, and this is the first time I'm going to show you some copies of a couple of them, and we haven't really shown these to anybody outside of our family before, but here's one of them. They're very large, so I hope that you can kind of see them, but you can see that the title of this one was Blonde Girl Hermit of the Jungle, and you can see there's a picture of my Aunt Marion there in the corner, and they're very well illustrated. And there she is flying through the jungle. And as you can see, these articles really sensationalized the actual story, which was that my Aunt Marion had gone to the Amazon jungle to try and form a colony of superhumans. And in my dream, Marta was one of those descendants of the superhumans that my Aunt Marion had tried to create. Here's another picture of my Aunt Marion, and you can see there's the home, the hut that she lived in while she was in Ecuador. And my book actually takes place in Brazil, but my Aunt Marion tried to form her colony in Ecuador. Anyway, so that was these articles, and the resulting dream from them was my inspiration behind Founder. So Founder is a 3-part series that I have already planned. There are 3 different locations. Marta and Laura are the main narrators for all 3 of the books. I also have another novella, which is a much shorter book that I have sketched out the plans for, and that is called Identity, and that's told from Elise's perspective, and it's just a companion book to Founder, talking about what is going on in Founder after Marta and Laura have now left there. My absolute favorite scene to write, easily, hands down, was the scene between Jacob and Laura at the very end of the book. I wrote it very quickly, and then I took quite a while editing it to sort of perfection. I loved it. I loved that Jacob finally kind of got his comeuppance by the hands of someone that he absolutely hated, and that was by far my favorite scene to write. Okay, well, I am always in the middle of a book. I love to run, and so while I'm running, I usually listen to one from Audible. And currently I'm listening to Betty White's autobiography, and it's called If You Ask Me, and it's very funny. She's very funny. If you're my friend on Goodreads, just a little shameless plug there, you can see all of the books that I'm currently reading. I have quite the to-be-read pile. Right now, I'm in the middle of Waterfall on my Kindle. It's by Lisa Berggren, and she has these amazing children's books. So I thought I would read this one as a young adult, and I thought I would read it, and it is awesome, completely living up to all of the hype that is surrounded it. If you get a chance, check that out, especially if you like paranormal type of books, Waterfall. And then next on my list is The Emerald Atlas, which is more of a middle grade type of book by John Stevens, and I've been looking forward to that one for a while, so I'm excited about that. The next thing I have going on is the next stop on my blog tour. This blog tour takes place all month long, and a lot of effort has gone into it to try and make every stop as fun and as unique as possible. So please stop by my next stop or check out the past ones that I've done. I'm also frantically finishing writing and editing Heritage, which is the second book in the Patron Identity series, and it takes place in Sweden, in outside of Stockholm, actually very north of Stockholm, in a place called Kiruna, and it involves Lara and Marta again, and they've found another colony and what kind of happens with that colony. Well, I've always been incredibly impulsive. I get an idea into my head and I just full force gung-ho go for it, and nobody can stop me until it is done. So when I was 18 and I just barely started college, I had a roommate. Her name is Jamie. And shout out to Jamie if she's watching. She was quite the enabler of my crazy ideas, and so I had an idea and she went along with me, and I'm not going to pull my pants down, but we have matching tramp stamp tattoos, and so that is something that you will not find on the internet until right this very minute. Yes, Ellen Long has a tramp stamp. Thank you, Heidi, for having me on your blog today. Please check out all of the other stops on my blog tour, and you can purchase my book, Founder, at all major ebook retailers, or you can purchase it in paperback through Amazon.com. And thank you again for having me.